Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, September 24th, day 71. And I'm going to do a pretty brief CarCast this afternoon, finishing up what I didn't get finished this morning. I was thinking about this before I started doing this, and I'm going to try to keep it to the facts to start with, and then I'll go off tangent towards the end. We'll see how it works. The facts are pretty simple. Ain't nothing going on this afternoon. I literally just tweeted out, because I saw that one of the other accounts tweeted out that they are making breakfast right now. That was as of 2:30 p.m. Big Brother time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. They are making breakfast. There's nothing going on game-wise right now in the house. So there's nothing new to report. I didn't pick up anything new overnight. I need to review it, but I didn't get a chance to really today at work. But I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. I don't think nothing to report. Leah's up on the block now next to Angela, and I think right now it's probably going to be Leah getting voted out. That could change in the next 36 hours. Definitely could change. But for now, or 48 hours, it looks like it's Leah. So there's your quick little update. That's what's going on. I want to touch on the other stuff that I was going to talk about, which is, well, actually another new thing that's come up since this morning. Traitors Canada. Apparently season 2 is premiered last night. So Traitors Canada is the Canadian version of Traitors, oddly enough. And I really enjoyed season 1. So season 2 is just kicked off. The way to watch that, unless I end up posting it with links, which I may end up doing initially, is to use a VPN if you don't live in Canada, and go to the right. I think it's CTV. I think is the channel. I think they offer free streaming of shows next day, so you can go to that with a VPN enabled to pretend that you're in Canada. And I use private internet access, the VPN, and then I think they have an option for a streaming optimized VPN, and it seems to work, or it did last time around. But so there's just something, just so you know, those of you that have the ability, Traitors Canada, I will not be spoiling that or anything. I'm going to avoid spoilers myself, but that's something going on. Another item of note, and remember, we're done talking about Big Brother now. We're on house cleaning stuff, so very short one to start with. Now we'll just do this house cleaning stuff, things that I lost in my first podcast this morning that I wanted to touch base back on. Patrons. I have several patrons, and I gained another one yesterday. It was Brandy. Thank you very much, Brandy, for becoming a patron. Appreciate you. And at the same time, I was checking in and thanking Brandy online because I sent her a thank you message. I also saw a message from, I'm 99% sure it was Angela. And she had a couple of questions. And one of her questions, she had one easy question and one hard question. So the easy question was, why do they put the fish up on the live feeds? It's frustrating, right? What is the "we'll be right back" screen with the fish? What's going on? Well, a lot of things can be going on when that goes up. It goes back in the original season of Big Brother, they had a chicken coop, okay? And they would, when the house guests, every once in a while, they would want to talk to the house guests without us hearing anything, or something would be going on, and they would just show us this chicken coop. That was it. Sometimes they would also show us what was called the front of the house. Foth was what we called the Foth cam. We had the Foth cam and the fish cam. But the Foth cam would be showing, or the FD camera for front door camera, when there was an outside door that people went through before they entered the studio, which eventually got closed off. So there was no front door cam to see. So they would do that. Around I want to say it was season 4, but it might have been 3. They had a video picture of a fish tank, and they would show us that video screen of the fish tank at times too, I believe. I think they started doing it then. I'm not 100% sure. But we would call it the fish cam, right? Well, that's what they're at this year. Some years they didn't have a fish cam. Some years they just go to wild patterns and stuff. But they do have fish in the tank this year. And so when the house guests are getting instructions from production when they are singing like they're not supposed to be, when they're talking about things that maybe people haven't signed a release for. They're talking about their best friend who didn't sign a release and telling a story. Rather than tell them they're not allowed to talk, they'll just cut away from them, or they'll shut the feeds off completely and go to the fish for a minute or 2 or 3 or 5, sometimes 10. When they wake them up in the morning and play music for them, they will go to the fish cam. When they do things that are really, really long, like planned events, they will go to the adoptable animal cameras, which is something they didn't used to do. They would go to like trivia and stuff before they started doing that. But I don't know how many years ago at this point they started showing animals that they're available for adoption from the Humane Society. That's what that is. So that's what the We'll Be Right Back, the WBRB, that's what's going on there generally. It's just they want to shut down the feeds for just a little bit, hopefully, because something that's going on that they don't want us to see, right? Okay, so that's the We'll Be Right Back. The other thing you mentioned was asked about the phone. I'm not sure if the house guests are talking about the phone, what they're talking about. I'm just not 100% sure. Sorry. She mentioned that the house guests talk about the phone, and what is that? Is that code for something? I think I don't have any idea what that means. If somebody knows what they're talking about, by all means tweet at me or something and I'll pass it on. There are a few other code words though that the house guests use, which I'll cover. They'll talk about sometimes going to see the doctor. Different seasons have different code words, by the way. They all develop their own language, but it's been more than 1 year I think they've mentioned the doctor, and that's DR for the diary room, right? They talk about being on vacation. That's sometimes a code word for the sequester that happens before they're on the show. So they talk about when I was on vacation. It's like, oh, that means before you were on the show when you were sequestered, because they're not supposed to talk about that. Other code words, I'm trying to think. They used to talk about when they get their medicine and stuff, they'd say things. They're just all been kinds of different code words. They do talk about their handlers, the people that talk to them in the diary room, right? So when they go into the diary room, they don't see a person, they just see a camera, but they cheer the people and they talk to them and they know them by name. So they get to know the people they work with by name, and they talk about them outside the house or outside of the diary room. Sometimes they'll mention them by name, sometimes they'll get shut down until they can't do that. Sometimes they will just give up code names for them and stuff too. And they get crushes on the people that they talk to. I believe some former house guests have dated people that they've talked to they've talked to over the thing, that they get to know each other. There's a whole thing that goes on there. That's a whole other world that we are not a part of, but you pick up bits and pieces of it by listening to house guests talk. That's about it. I think that's what I covered for you earlier. So we got that. We got the new patron. Thank you again, Brandy. If you want to be a patron, by all means, we got 21 days. You can sign up at any point to be a patron, all year long, even if you wanted to. But if you want to do it during this season, you've got 29 days, right? Which is day 71, roughly 29 days. Patreon.com/BB Gossip. That's me. Not the Big Brother Gossip Show. That's our old podcast, but it's just patreon.com/BB Gossip. And you can sign up, and it's just a monthly thing. You can choose your amount. You can choose, I think you have to sign up for $5, but you can immediately change it to $1, I think. They don't let you sign up for less than $5, so that's kind of their rule. But if you want to do a continuous, you can change the amount down to $1, and it takes a $1 out a month. Because that's what I do for a couple of different podcasts. So there you go, folks. That is my brief afternoon podcast. Last thing, we're down, I said, down to the other stuff. My pup, Zoe, she's doing better. I don't know. She's 12 years old, so she is getting quite old. Grandma Deb, I just saw a couple of your different posts today on Spreaker. Thank you very much. I appreciate your thoughts. Other people that have written to me, I've replied thank yous. People that have tweeted at me, thank you. All of you, thank you very much. She's an old dog, right? 12 years old. But she suddenly went from being fairly healthy, happy, running around to really struggling this past weekend. And she's still struggling, but she's a little bit better than she was. So we're not sure what's up. But I'm trying not to dwell on that too much when I talk on here, because this is kind of a release for me, and plus it's not something you necessarily want to know. But there are people, as many have mentioned, I've had several people that say they can remember seeing me play catch with Zoe back in my Periscope days when I could do video easily, and throwing the ball for her in our backyard and stuff. So, you know, there's that too. So there are some connections here. I realize there are people that haven't known this podcast for that long. So I'm trying to please everyone. So keep those that are curious in touch with what's going on, and then those of you that don't know all of this, trying not to throw too much at you at once. So there you go, folks. I am in my driveway. I'm going to go in and see said dog and see how she's doing, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and we'll see if the house guests have dinner at midnight or what they're doing. All right? Talk to you later. Thanks again for all your support. Appreciate it, everybody. Bye-bye.